Britain's best-selling plug-in hybrid has been given a host of changes for 2015, along with a new look. Most noticeably, it's now received Mitsubishi's Dynamic Shield design language, which is said to make it look lower, leaner and wider, as well as more modern. There's something for drivers to be excited about too, as the PHEV now gets from a standstill to 25 miles per hour, a whole 2 seconds quicker than before. So is it still worthy of being a stellar sales success? Let's find out. The Outlander has always had quite a traditional cabin, but Mitsubishi claims this is its most European yet, and it gets items like these black ash trim inserts, as well as more padding around the doors and on the dashboard, and even this stitching above the instrument cowl. There's also a new display for the gear indicator. There's a heated steering wheel this time round, which is obviously great at this time of year, and the infotainment system has also been updated. Now this is one area that we've criticised the Outlander for in the past, and it now has fewer buttons which are also clearer. Not only that, but the loading time when you first start the car has been halved. But there are still some issues like the so-so graphics for the sat-nav and the fact there are lots of menus to go through. But if you can get past that, it does give you lots of information, including things like your EV range. Of course, being an SUV, the Outlander needs to be practical for families, and luckily the battery's position under the car means that they don't intrude too much on space. Unlike some hybrid vehicles, the Outlander is also approved for towing a Brate trailer up to 1,500 kilograms, which roughly equates to a medium-sized caravan. Headroom shouldn't be an issue in any of the seats, but one thing worth noting is the lack of the 7-seat option found with the diesel Outlander, and that's because the PHEV's extra technology means there are actually electric motors positioned under the boot floor. The electric tailgate now opens higher than before for better access. The boot sill is level with the floor for easy loading and unloading, and hidden in here are the charging cables. Storage space wise, the PHEV is so-so compared to other SUV rivals, as it has just under 500 litres. Head off down the road in the PHEV and everything feels instantly familiar. But actually, as you drive a bit further, you realise it does feel better than before. And that should come as no surprise because Mitsubishi has made lots of small changes. For example, the front chassis has been stiffened up, the suspension has been retuned, and no less than 30 parts of the car have been researched and changed so that they make less noise. Of course, it's still no sports model, but the steering does feel a tad more responsive than before, and it's even quieter, especially when the petrol engine kicks in, which used to be quite noticeable, but now is almost seamless. And if we come to a stop, and then hit the accelerator, acceleration does seem a bit better than before, and that's because the electric motors have been recalibrated to give a little bit more boost when you pull away from a standstill. You can still use these paddles to slow the car down, which puts energy back into the battery, and on its strongest mode it does activate the brake lights. As you can see, it almost brings the car to a standstill, so that warns people driving behind you. Being a plug-in hybrid, you can of course charge this car up before your journey, which takes around 5 hours from a conventional wall socket, and that gives you around 32 miles of charge using just the electric batteries alone. There are also buttons down near the gear selector which allow you to save your electric charge. Say for example, if you're on the motorway and you want to use the petrol engine, but then use electric power when you get into the city. There's also a charge option if you can't find a plug socket for a while, which uses the engine as a generator and can charge the battery in around half an hour. Economy has increased from 148 to 156 mpg, while CO2 has dropped by 2 grams per kilometre down to 42 grams of CO2. So it really is a compelling choice for business drivers. After the government's plug-in car grant is deducted, the PHEV actually costs the same 29 grand as the diesel version. But if you go for the range-topping model, that'll take you up to £36,000. Of course, the PHEV's 5% benefit in kind tax rating really does make it very appealing for company car drivers. With the PHEV becoming such an important model for Mitsubishi, we can understand why they've been quick to give it a facelift, and the results should make it even more desirable. The exterior redesign means its looks are now more on a par with the high-tech features under its skin, and the fact it's an automatic which already drove very quietly but has now got added refinement means it's even more relaxing behind the steering wheel. But could you see yourself in a Mitsubishi Outlander PHEV? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button. To inquire about this car, click on the button, and for any other makes and models, don't forget to visit carkeys.co.uk. You can also watch more reviews like this one by clicking on the links on screen now.